Okay, so I have to wrap this corner. So the way you do that, pull those and tile, and then this is going to go up to this height here, and then above that you need a bulldoze on this side with the finished edge on this side, and you put another boom up top, up here, above the tile line, and this bulldoze will continue like this, and then that'll finish, you'll see, and that'll finish that edge on that side up there. That's what I'll do. So I'm going to start by getting my first row exactly right, and this is the row above the bottom row that actually touches the floor, and the ledger board actually is a huge help because I know everything that I put on it is going to be perfectly level. So I'm going to take my time with my first row of tile to make sure that it's perfectly in place, and then I'm going to build on top of that. And if you get the first row right, going up the wall is going to make it a lot easier because everything that goes on top of that is just going to follow. And if you start with a perfectly set foundation, it's going to be easier to continue with. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my level across all the tiles to make sure that everything is perfectly flat and that all surfaces of all the tiles actually sit flat against the level. And once I know that is right, then it's going to be easier to build on top of that and get everything just right. I'm going to do the extra work. So what I'm doing here is I'm figuring out how I am going to place this bullnose on the top, because the lines can't match on horizontal lines because the bullnose is shorter than the length of the tile, but going up and down the bullnose is the same width as the tile, so I want that to exactly match the grout lines that way. So the bullnose will match on the short side, but it won't match the grout lines on the long side. So as you can see, I'm using some painter's tape here, and what that does is it actually helps hold everything in place so that it doesn't move. And what I usually do is I'll put it on the side of the bullnose, and then pull the tape towards the field tile so that I'm actually making it tight up against the spaces that I insert, and the spaces don't fall out. Okay, so I put a ledger board up here on the ceiling from the lines up with this here, this point here, and this point here. So that way when I put my ceiling tile up, I can just push it up against the board and know that it's going to be exactly where it needs to be. So this tile on the walls is actually a ceramic tile, and it's got a soft bisque, which is the back of the tile. It's a white colored bisque, which is actually fairly soft and it's easy to cut and is not very strong. But that's alright, because it's going on a wall, and on the ceiling it's never going to be worked on. So it's actually fairly light. But in any case, when you're sticking the tile on the ceiling, you want to make sure that you get good coverage and that the tile's not going to fall off. Because these tiles are light, it's actually fairly easy to get them to stick on the ceiling. So I just pushed it up in place, pushed it up against the ledger board, and then I pulled it down to check to see what my coverage was, and it was actually pretty good. And I'm going to do that probably for a couple of tiles, and then I'm just going to continue on with putting the ceiling in place. And these tiles, once they stick and grab and you push the air out of the thin set, they just do not fall. And then actually even the heavier tiles usually won't fall either. They usually stay up pretty good. If you do have problems, you can use a thin set with better grab. So as I was saying, this tile is fairly soft. So instead of taking the tile to the wet saw to cut it, I'm just going to nip it out. And I used to do this a lot more years ago when a lot of wall tile was soft and there wasn't so many porcelain tiles around. But this is actually quicker than bringing it to the wet saw and cutting it on the wet saw. And because it's a soft bisque tile, it's actually pretty easy to do.
Because it's soft tile, so it's easy to nip.
Okay, so And as you can see, I got the wall tile up down to here. And I got the last row missing all the way around. And I got the membrane on here, on the curb. Now I'm going to do is put membrane on the mud. And then I'm going to put corners, inside corners, in the four corners, and Kerdi band all the way around to get a 2-inch overlap. And that'll make this completely waterproof. This is the membrane, the Kerdi membrane. And then I'm going to install that onto the mud with an unmodified thin set. Always use unmodified thin set with Kerdi, unless you're going over plywood. And then if you're adhering like Detra or something to plywood, then you need to use modified. But 99% of the time, you're always using unmodified.